Hello guys, my name is Olga and I'm completely blind, and today we're going to have a very interesting, even though a little bit heavy video, because I'm going to talk about difficult thoughts and feelings related to my disability, that is being blind. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's not easy being blind. I get plenty of difficult thoughts and feelings I have to deal with, but I do have a technique from acceptance and commitment therapy developed by Dr. Russ Harris that I'm going to share with you, which I personally find very, very helpful, and hopefully you will as well. The technique is called dropping anchor, and I really like that analogy because I personally find myself quite often in the midst of an emotional storm. I tend to have quite a bit of anxiety, and it's understandable. You know, as a blind person, I can't just jump in the car and take off. I have to plan things in advance, organize things in advance, a lot of things to keep in your head and to make sure they actually work out. Dropping anchor helps me to manage, for instance, my anxiety so I can continue with my day effectively. It has 3 steps to it, and to remember it easily, you can use acronym ACE, A-C-E, ACE. A stands for acknowledge, C for come back to your body, and E for engage into what you're doing. So let's start with step number 1, A for acknowledge. So we want to bring awareness to the thoughts or feelings that are going through our head, sensations that are going through our body. Basically that allows us to get into the driver's seat and put that difficult experience in the passenger seat, so it's not telling us which way to go, you know. So the way you do it though is slightly different than you may imagine. It's not acknowledging it by saying, oh, I'm anxious. You want to distance yourself a little bit from your difficult thought, feeling, memory, urge, whatever difficult experience you're going through. So the way you would acknowledge it by mentally saying, here is anxiety, for instance, or I notice a feeling of anxiety. That way there is a little bit of space and you are like a curious scientist observing it. So that is step number 1. The second step is come back to your body by connecting with your body. It's very grounding. For instance, you could do several deep breaths. You could clench and unclench your fists. You could push your feet into the ground and relax. So anything that helps you to come back into your body and get a bit grounded. So the third step is engage into what you're doing. And obviously that's the whole point of this exercise, because we want to be productive, we want to be content, we want to move on with our life regardless of the difficult feelings and thoughts and other experiences that pop into our head. So how you do it? You actually make an effort to bring your attention to what you're doing, whether you are writing an email, or maybe you were talking to a loved one, or you were simply walking and you realized that you're in the middle of the storm and you don't notice anything around you, so you do that exercise. So how much would you do that exercise, and when would you do this exercise? Well, you can start doing it just as little as 30 seconds, and you can continue doing it for as long as you need to basically drop that anchor in the middle of your storm to get steady. It could go up to 10 minutes if you need to continue going on and on. It's good to do it obviously when you are noticing difficult thoughts and feelings. However, it's not a good time to start. It's a skill that you need to develop and have in your toolkit to use when you really need it. So I would encourage you doing it on daily basis, even when the distress is very mild. It could be, noticing a bit of frustration coming up. And the final thought about this exercise I'd like to make is that it's not a technique to get distracted. It's not a technique to get rid of difficult thoughts and feelings. It's a technique which is in line with the idea of acceptance and commitment therapy, is that even when we do have difficult thoughts and feelings and other painful experiences, we can let them be, we can make room for them, we can ground ourselves and keep going what we need to do to be basically productive and live in accordance with our values. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you do find this technique helpful. And remember, it's normal to experience difficult thoughts and feelings and other experiences. It's normal, especially if you have a challenge like a disability to live with. I wish you all the best and I will see you later in my next videos.